Hello and welcome to another episode of Whatever's Cool, the show where we talk about anything and everything that is cool in the world today. As always, I am the Incredible Hulk of this podcast, Daniel Paul Crow. As always, I have the Hello Kitty of the cast, Ben, and the Sailor Moon type, that is Tim.
Man,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get on board with these intros.
I don't know, but alright. Guess it's a label now.
Take it as a payback, because what we're about to talk about today, you wouldn't shut up about it. You wouldn't stop annoying me until I watched it. Although it got so ridiculous that I said I was going to watch it in the morning, and he messaged me. I think it was like 8:00, and you're like, "Have you watched it yet?" I'm like, "No, I'm watching Batman." You got to watch it now. I'm like, "Oh."
That is actually pretty accurate. I was thinking you were exaggerating the whole scenario, but now that you play it back to me and tell me that I messaged you first thing in the morning to ask if you watched it, yeah, that's on me. I've got no defense on this one.
And I have the messages to prove it. So today we're going to be talking about a movie called VFW. Now, honestly, when I first heard of this, I thought you were talking about wrestling. So, WWE, AEW. So I was like, okay, why does he want us to watch a wrestling movie? But it turns out it's nothing like that. Tim, do you want to give us just a quick rundown of how you discovered this little gem, this little nugget of a movie?
Yeah, this was a real accident. I was looking up some stuff on IMDb, especially, Cobra Kai is going to be coming out on Netflix pretty soon, and I wanted to find out when season 3 was going to be coming out. So I started clicking around, and when you look up Sensei Kreese, turned out that he did this small picture called VFW, and I was like, okay, what's this? Well, what the hell is this? So I decided to check it out, and it is awesome.
Pretty good summary.
Yeah, pretty good summary.
Plausible, right?
You said to me that it was going to be a little bit gory. That was an understatement, man.
Yeah, I think I undersold it on that point. It's really bloody, and it's just a joy to watch. Real gore fans here at What If It's Cool?
I think this is our first sort of gory movie that we're going to be talking about. Have we talked about anything yet that's been gory? I mean,
well, I've mentioned The Night Comes for Us, and we're gonna have to really unpack that one day.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like we only talk about Guy Ritchie, and
I didn't even bring it up this time, dude. I didn't even have a look on my face or anything, and you decided to bring up Guy Ritchie. I actually think he'd probably be a fan of this, in all honesty.
It seems like a movie he would love to do.
We haven't even talked about what it's about.
All right, well let's pack in. So VFW stands for Veterans of Foreign Wars. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because it starts off with a Q title and explains what's going on. And by the way, this will contain spoilers, so if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, too bad. So basically, it's explaining that there is a drug. I have forgotten what the drug is called. I think it was
Hype. I think.
Hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were called hypers, the drug addicts, and how addictive it is, and blah 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 blah. Opens with a shot of Scott Lang, who is one of my favorite actors. And he's just, driving in a car, picking up his mates. They're ready to go to the bar.
I think we need to run that back, man. You said Scott. It's Stephen Lang.
Clearly, he's not one of my favorite actors. Damn it. You caught me out. So, Stephen Lang. He's going to pick up his mates. And I knew I was going to stuff that up. Oh, well.
Forgets the name of the podcast.
I know. He says it as his favourite actor as well. Jeez, how much of... Just like a Guy Ritchie. You just forget that he made Aladdin.
I think he's gonna think. Dan's enjoyment of this movie is gonna be because he thought Guy Ritchie directed it all along. And this is gonna morph into a purely Guy Ritchie fans podcast.
You might as well just call it that at this stage.
What if it's Guy Ritchie? Let's call it that.
Nah.
So anyway, back to the story. Basically, they go to the bar, which is where the VFW is. It's just a bar for veterans, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not doing too well today, am I?
Just breathe, mate. Breathe.
Now, this is the part where I don't get. Is the gang leaders' headquarters, are they directly opposite the bar?
Yeah. So the movie opens up and it's explaining the current drug pandemic, I guess you'd call it, with this drug called hype. Anyone who takes it are called hypers. It opens up and then you see a bunch of these addicts really wanting to get their fix. Then it shows the gang leader who's basically got a huge supply of this drug, and you see the extremities that these addicts will go to just to get their next hit. So he drops a dose of hype over this railing or this balcony, and then the girl really wants to get it, and then he goes, go for it. You said you'd do anything, and so she plummets to her death, and then that's what really opens up the film. The next bit is, you start meeting the principal characters, all the veterans of the VFW. So the main one that you meet first is Stephen Lang, who is Dan's favorite actor behind his favorite director, Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
After that, you also meet Tom Williamson. I feel like I've seen him in a lot of stuff before. Like it seems like he's an everyman sort of character. And so he picks him up from his house, and then they, start drink driving, and then they head over to the bar.
Yeah.
Are you having a stroke? You've sort of paused and.
No, I was just trying to, because when you said Tom Williamson, I was just like, I'm trying to remember what he did, and I'm drawing a blank because I
shit. Now I've stuffed up. It's Fred Williamson. Tom Williamson's the young guy. He plays the young soldier that rocks up to the bar.
Oh, okay. Well, they got two different. Same way. This guy.
We're really kicking goals tonight.
Yeah, we're doing well. No, Fred Williamson. He's a bloody tank of a man. Like this guy. Like, I don't know about you. Like whenever I see the guy's face, my first sort of feeling with him is, do you remember from Dusk Till Dawn?
Yep. That's the only movie I know that where he's from. I've not seen him in any other movie.
I've only seen him in the blaxploitation movies that he's done, where he was like it was kind of like Black Dynamite before Black Dynamite. So and if I'm thinking correctly, I think he was actually the inspiration for Michael Jai White to create that character. But I can always just remember when he turned into a vampire, and for some strange reason, every time he was just sitting at the bar, I was just like, when is he going to turn into a vampire? Because it literally looked like, anytime he was sitting at the bar, it looks like he was actually the same set from that movie. But, that's just me.
Is he the one in From Dusk Till Dawn? He's got the pencil, and then he stabs it through the heart of the vampire?
I think so. It's been a while since I've seen that one.
He was the guy that was monologuing about how badass he was.
Yeah.
Forgot what his name is. He's the guy that has the pistol in his crotch area, the groin area. And then after he gives his long monologue, the guy sneaks up on him and he takes a bite out of him.
He does the creepy hands on behind his back.
That
still haunts me. Like I know it's meant to be comedic, but that was scary for me and still is now.
That crotch pistol's in Desperado as well, but it's never used. And I mean, like, it's Robert Rodriguez's pick, so yeah.
Well, what? Was it? Did he do the full directing of that one? I thought it was like him and Tino.
Of what?
Of
Desperado? Or?
Dusk Till Dawn. No, from Dusk Till Dawn.
Well, I think he's the only one credited.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, back to
Ben's
VFW.
really interested tonight. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm not. I'm off. I'm off today. So and then it just. So let's just cut right into it. So basically, it's just them mucking around in the bar. Then all of a sudden, the girl who died, trying to get the drugs, so he fell off the balcony. Her sister sees that she's dead, and steals the remaining of the drugs. Runs into the bar, and then all of a sudden, hell breaks loose. And essentially, that's your movie there. It's just like them trying to escape. Wow, it's just. I know you said it best, but it really hit home when I really thought about it. It's got a very Assault on Precinct 13 feel about it.
Yeah.
Everything about it. Just in terms of like the synthesizer music at the start.
Oh yeah,
you got the credit crawl at the start. They're telling you how messed up the world is at that time. Just the soundtrack itself is just very, very 80s. So
yeah, it's very Carpenter-esque, and that's what I really liked about the score. And it's consistent. It's all the way throughout, and you know, you just get that feel that this could have been a movie that Carpenter could have directed. It certainly has that look, but even the casting, it's just, you know, like all these great B actors, and, you know, I mean, Kreese is in it, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'll give this a go. It had, you know, whatever his name, Lang, William Sadler, and then, you know, Fred Williamson.
Well, let's just go through the cast. We've got Stephen Lang, William Sadler, Martin Cove, David Patrick Kelly, Sienna McCormick, Tom Williamson, Travis Hammer, Dora Madison, George Windett, and Fred Williamson. Besides reception of probably Stephen and to a lesser extent Martin Cove, they're the only sort of two real big names in the last few years.
Oh come on,
Sadler doesn't mean that
he was the president
in
the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, he was too.
Yeah, he was like a major character in Iron Man 3. Yeah.
Apparently he's still going to be that character in the future, so that should be interesting.
I really liked seeing David Patrick Kelly because, you know, like he had probably the most memorable role in the Warriors. So, you know, he was like, you know, with the bottles, you know, clinking there, Warriors come out to play, and you know,
that was
like
the worst impression ever.
Dude, it's better than your Iago impression.
I'm not even going to do my impression again because it was. You're right. It was absolutely terrible.
But you know, like when you after seeing something that iconic, it's like, oh, what did he really get after that? And you know, he didn't really go on to have a huge career. You know, definitely remained as a genre actor. Well, and then the most recent one that I remember seeing him in was pretty sure The Longest Yard, the Adam Sandler version.
Was he?
Yeah, I think it was the guy that blew up he blew up the cell that Chris Rock went into.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you know, seeing all these genre actors in a movie that's very 80s influenced, you know, what's not to like? You know, and the action itself, it's not stylized, it's not highly choreographed, it's just brawling. And you know, you get to see some really awesome effects, some really awesome makeup stuff. And yes, there's a lot of splatter involved, which I absolutely loved.
This is not a movie I would normally watch, but you know, having that cast did help. Storyline wise, it's a, you know, it's been done before, you know, stuff very similar, but the gore factor wasn't that bad where I'm going to go, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my lunch watching it, you know. Except for that one bit where the guy, Fred, chops the guy's arm off just to shut the door.
I think that was Stephen Lang again.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. His character was Fred.
Okay.
I'll say his character's Fred. Because at least I can get that right.
Yeah, so he keeps hacking away at the dude's arm
hacking away.
yeah, just to shut the door. Yep. I think there was one of the first shotgun blasts, and then the dude's head just explodes.
Yeah.
Like, you just see this explosion of latex and fake goop. You know, like, oh man, this is so brutal, but I just need to keep watching.
You know the other brutal bit? I've forgotten the guy's name now. The youngest one. He was kneeing the guy in the face, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's just gone. Like, the face is gone, and all that's left is just goop. It's like bush.
Yeah, it's classic B grade special effects from the 80s. You see that sort of stuff. You know what really reminds me of the story of Ricky O? You remember that movie?
That's a great movie.
Yeah, we need to rewatch that one as well.
Yeah, just people were very easily broken, or they explode really easily. It just reminds me of that. It felt like everyone was just made out of everyone was just meat balloons. If you look at that, so I think it kind of reminded me of that. I think whenever you were on the drug, you just end up being a meat balloon.
But when you say meat balloon, in that movie, there was the guy just ended up being some like mega Hulk, and then it was like one punch.
Oh, come on, man! It was the warden. He was a.
Oh, it was the warden. Okay.
You know that the warden is the strongest fighter in the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
It's like, of course, that logic makes sense.
That's something that's a movie we're gonna have to definitely do. Like, I remember watching it for the first time, and heaps of people told me it was a piece of crap. I sat there and loved every minute of that movie. But anyway, we got to get back to VFW. We cannot keep going off.
I'm gonna take a stab at this. I loved the cheesiness of the movie. It had that cheese factor to it, and by that it was you know, like what Philos would say, it was very corny in spots. The veterans are all introduced, and you know, as you see, there's like a very, very relaxed and cool sort of chemistry between them. It seems like, you know, they are genuine friends. You know, then there's the bit where William Sadler's like wanting to watch a video, and then so they put the video on, and it's just them perving at this really old aerobics workout video. So that got a genuine laugh out of me.
I feel like that's a movie. I think it's because when I'm looking at, I think that's from it was like a horror movie about an aerobics killer. I think it's like aerobics killer or some crap. Because I was looking at it, I was like, I've seen this before.
Or some crap. I'm just laughing because you're pretending that you don't know this aerobics killer movie. I bet you know the title.
No,
you do know the real title, right?
I'm trying to think what it's called. I can't think of it. I have to have a look. All right, while you guys talk, I'll have a look and I'll see if I can try to remember. I'm gonna have to look it up.
And this is another example of cheese, right, Ben? So Martin Cove, he rocks up. So he's the used car salesman,
yeah.
which I think he was just born to play because he just looks so sleazy. But then, you know, they're describing it. They're like, yeah, he's an animal. Yeah, goddamn snake. And I was like, yes, yes, referencing the Cobra Kai. And, you know, they just had a really cool banter throughout. And, you know, you did get the sense that there's that camaraderie between them and Ern because, you know, they've either served together or they've just got that shared experience of having served in different wars. And, you know, the lines are just so fun. They clearly look like they're all having a good time making this picture. And, you know, they even spout off lines that are just so ludicrous. I mean, I've got more stuff here. They go, you know, so Fred Williamson's looking at that picture of the daughter of Miss USA or whatever, and then he's like,
yeah.
She got no pussy hairs. And so I was like, pardon? He's like, I like pussy hairs.
My favorite line was your trench talk net really needs work. That's the one I like the most because I could see members of my family who have served actually say that to somebody.
Yeah.
I found out what the movie is called. It's called Killer Workout. I'm pretty sure that's
Whoa.
what I'm pretty sure that was the movie that was being played in the back.
So that's in your DVD collection?
No, it's yeah, okay, yeah, it is. I can't lie. It's one of the. It's another cheesy movie, but anyway, let's continue. Let's stop getting off track.
Yeah. Well, okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, like how gory do you guys think this is?
Where's our benchmark? Like, what's the who? Well, like, give us an
Okay,
example.
all
of my
right.
score
10
movie.
will be Story of Ricky level.
Ooh, okay.
See, you see, yeah, but I look at that, right? Like, it's just so bad and B grade that, like, oh, yeah, like, you know, there's a way that I can dissociate myself from that. But then, like, for me, when I think of, like, something like, Hostel, where it's just, yeah, like, the special effects are pretty good, and I feel pretty sick to my stomach watching some of the stuff. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the way you do gore can be humorous in a lot of ways. But then there's some, like when Hostel, where it's just, oh, hey, this is just disgusting. That
Yeah, that
kind of
that
turns me. Yeah, that's a bit too much. So,
that looked like a proper snuff movie, I guess.
yeah. So,
Well, this one, okay, if we're gonna go down that track, like, it's probably along the lines of Evil Dead to me in terms of gore, like, because Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and to an extent, Army of Darkness, you know, they had that level of gore, and, you know, like, the movies themselves were quite humorous. You know, there was a lot of dark humor to them, and this movie, I think, revels in that. So, you know, like, on that level, like, yeah, I think I can still appreciate it while not being turned off. I mean, this has heaps of shit. Like, it's just like you said, Ben, the whole meat balloon aspect, that was from the first death, and that was from the girl jumping over that balcony.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought she literally exploded, but then, like, her sister came and found a body, and she just looked perfectly fine.
Oh, I'd say the gore factor and stuff would be on the same lines of Tucker and Dale.
Yes. No one jumping into a wood chipper though.
No, but like the well, so excluding the wood chipper, like the chainsaw was very Tucker and Dale. Like, I hadn't seen like a chainsaw, with the exception of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remakes that they've done in the last few years, been used well in any horror movie in probably in the last, I'm gonna dare say it's probably in the last 15 years. And this was actually just kind of, it was cheesy but fun at the same time, and I quite like that those scenes. I
was thinking that, you know, some of it was also unintentionally humorous. So, you know, they're all like arming up or tooling up because they're getting ready for, you know, the first wave of hypers to try and bust into the VFW. But there's the bit where, creepy dude from The Warriors, David Patrick Kelly, you know, he's taken an axe to the shoulder, and it's basically almost separated the arm from the rest of the body. And then they hand him the gun. And he's like, it's all right. Like, yeah. He goes, they didn't get my trigger finger. I was just thinking, strategically, this is the stupidest idea ever. You got a guy this close to death, and you're going to give him the one working gun when there are so many more able-bodied people who could function that properly.
I've got a feeling because like even the Warriors line, he improvised that. I've got a feeling he improvised that as well, because he's very good at doing stuff like that when he's in any movie. So that seems, for me, that seems like a very improvised line. Like the script's called for him to say something different. He goes, "No, I'm gonna say something more funny," because he's that kind of an actor. And to be honest, that he steals the show anytime he comes on the screen.
Yeah, I did like his random, like, Ben, what did you think of his random musing outside the VFW before everything kicked off? Do you remember that scene?
Where it was just staring across the street at the Hypers.
Yeah, and then he just started commenting about the darkness and...
Yeah. I think he always played like some loose cannon in his movies, and I think
Yeah, he
I
does.
don't know. He was kind of like the wild card for me in this, like just this, or maybe William Sadler was a wild card. I don't know, but yeah,
Maybe they both were the wild cards, and until David Patrick Kelly gets offed.
yeah.
But William Sadler had, I think he had more of that loose cannon sort of quality to him. And I mean, he's certainly like the guy that, I mean, he's trying to get everyone to sign up for going to this stripper club.
Oh, sorry. He said titty bar. That's it. It wasn't a strip bar. He goes titty bar. I want to go to the titty bar. I shouldn't be here. I should be here fighting. I should be going to the titty bar.
I think that's referenced a few times.
Oh,
you sound like a natural. You
so
sound
funny.
like a natural saying that, Dan. I think I know what you're doing first thing once this lockdown is over.
Oh no. No, that's not something I do.
I think what I like about movies like this is there's always that inventiveness, and it's inventive in the sense of how they make the action play out on screen. It's very frantic, but you've actually got a very clear sign of what's happening at each point.
Yeah,
there's creativity, so they MacGyver the hell out of all the weapons. So there's a lot of makeshift weapons and traps that they do in a couple of the assaults on the VFW, and you get memorable deaths out of the entire show. And part of what I react to and what I get a bit of a kick out of whenever I watch a grindhousey movie like this is the inventiveness of the death sequences.
yeah.
And I mean, look, in the raid there was one scene where he's fighting a bunch of dudes, and then one of the last ones that he kills, well, he actually like drags him, and then the guy like gets semi-decapitated on a broken door. It's like, holy crap!
I forgot about that
like
bit.
something like that, So that really just stood out to me, because I was like, holy shit! They have not seen this in any of Jackie Chan's films. But when you get to movies like that, those are some of the things that stand out. And for this, I think, they definitely enjoyed themselves with regards to the practical effects that they used to convey that sense that they were killing these people off in very graphic fashion. One of the things that I liked was, so the Hypers are making their final assault on the VFW, and one of the lead gangsters, he grabs one of the Hypers and he just repeatedly bashes his head into the door as a battering ram. I was like, that's one way to try and open the door.
Did you guys notice that like the Hypers were acting more like zombies than they were, just being hysterical people? Like there's the one that Lizard, not Lizard, the younger bloke, stabbed the moose. Antlers, right?
Yeah.
He was just going, and eyes popped out and all that stuff, and I was just like, wow, they're zombies? Cool.
Yeah, it had a very... Well, especially because they can run and they can move so fast. This had a very 28 Days Later kind of feel to it, or even I think Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that's actually I'll pay that. It did feel a little bit like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. The way they were, that whole scene when they were coming out towards the end, it definitely felt like that. But you're right, the whole head banging with that big tank of a bloke. Wow, I'd never want to meet him in an alley.
Is this when Fred Williamson gets all coked up?
Yeah, I mean so
it's like The Last Stand. So it's like almost 5 or so of them standing opposite one another, and then that
was a good scene.
That was scary. That big ball bloke was just terrifying. It's like if Brock Lesnar. He like has Brock Lesnar's body with, say, and this is what I read before. If you guys watch WWE, Eric Rowan's head, because he had the beard and he had to sort of look like that, and that was terrifying.
Best death sequence for you guys. Best death in this. I think we're all going to agree on this one.
I just like the head bashing repeatedly against the door because I thought it was over the top. But hey, that's me. But
Mine's the decapitation of the arm. I just thought that was just hilarious.
You guys don't remember what happened to the chick? I think her name, she's credited as Gutter. So she's like the lieutenant.
The second in command one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So there's the flagpole that goes right through the mouth.
Nah. I mean, it was funny.
She's still sitting up with the flagpole.
Yeah, it's funny, but no. But let's talk about the elephant.
I guessed wrong on that.
Yes, you did. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, because we've already mentioned this before in our private chats, and this is the big spoiler: the ending. I hated it. After watching it a second time, I still hate it.
What do you hate about it?
Oh, I just
because everything you said about it, like that it's like a John Carpenter movie, it's like Assault on Precinct 13, and then you also said that it's like a zombie movie. All those things have like a few survivors at the end. And...
No, it's not the survivor bit. It's just the fact that they're like, oh, we got the drugs, let's sell it. I'm just like, really?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of message is this sending?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I got it, like, it just had like one of those sort of 80s montage type things where they like, sort of like, they high five into the air, slow-mo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We won. We got the drugs. What are we going to do? It's like, you can fix this place up. Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. And then some.
Like that kind of took me out of the movie a bit. I mean, it was already ludicrous throughout, and the level of violence in it was comical. And then when you got to that ending, I was just, hang on, what?
Yeah, fair enough. I get that. I guess like the fact that when is it Lizzie that ran into the building? I mean,
Lizard.
Yeah, and they said to her, "Hey, like because she said something like, oh, you didn't have to protect me," and I think William Sadler, maybe even Stephen Lang's character, they said, like, hey, we had to protect you the moment you walked in here. So you felt like there's a sense of honor and duty about what they do. But then it kind of threw that all away with the drug stuff at the end. So
exactly, that's the problem I had with the ending, and it was so close to being a perfect B grade movie for me, and then just the ending just sucked. But let's be honest, was this cool?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm still gonna stand by the recommendation. I think that this movie is, it evokes that sense of classic 80s films. It is very close in spirit to Assault on Precinct 13, which I think we should really unpack one day. Original John Carpenter one versus the one that's got Lawrence Fishburne and Ethan Hawke. But coming back to this, I think that, because it hews so closely to that, and it looks like it was a genuinely fun production. I still stand by thinking that this is a cool movie, despite the very, very weak ending.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. This comes back to, is it rewatchable? Yes, it is, because the one-liners are cheesy but funny. The action is worth watching, and you can. It's a movie you can just put on the background and just sit there and just enjoy it. Well, at least for me.
Well, Ben's going to be vacuuming to it pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty much. Or do what I meant to do. Anyway, yeah, I think like what you guys said was true as well. I love the homages, and I love the violence in it as well. It's just a fun B-grade movie. And I was just looking on IMDb. It turns out one of the production companies, and not only was it Voltage Pictures, but it's Fangoria. So Fangoria, I don't think it's even in publication anymore, but I think in the early 90s all the way up into the late 2000s, they were a magazine that published a lot of horror movies and gory horror movies. So that kind of makes sense that they were one of the production companies when it came to like all the goriness and violence for it. So yeah,
Did they do Hobo with a Gun? Because I know the name, but I'm just...
Hobo with a shotgun, you mean?
Sorry, Hobo with a Shotgun.
is it one of your favorite movies as well?
Oh, I just remember I
got the
was watching
limited
it one night.
edition, man.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The steel book.
Yep. With Sig Hauer. Rutger Hauer. Yeah.
Well, on that note, that's the end of an episode of What If It's Cool. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and of course, what we just found out today, iTunes. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And keep that support going. Until next time, folks. We'll see you next time.
Thanks again. Peace.
See you guys.